What's going on, guys? Apathetic here, and I'm going to be giving my thoughts on the Revelry Event and its effect on the Crucible, and more importantly, competitive. So grab a snack, get comfy, and let's get into it. So the Revelry Event has just started, and it has brought with it a Reveler's Tonic that allows you to buff your melee ability or grenade recharge rate significantly, and wearing the Revelry or Vernal Growth sets further enhance this effect even further. So I was aware of these changes, but I thought, I was like, well, surely, it can't be that bad. I'm sure people will have more grenades, but I'll be able to play around that and still enjoy the Crucible as I have been. Boy, was I wrong. Dear Lord, guys, I guess I have one question, and that is, who at Bungie signed off on this idea? Oh, hey guys, wait, hear me out. Wait, if we made it to where you could basically infinitely throw grenades forever, what do you guys think? Oh my god, that's brilliant. Kind of like Mayhem, but everywhere, right? Like this blows my mind. It honestly baffles me that this was allowed, especially in competitive Crucible. Now, Cosmo has come out and acknowledged this issue. He said on Reddit the following: with the Revelry, we wanted to rejuvenate every activity type in Destiny with a global change to the sandbox meta that lasted for a limited time. We knew this would be disruptive, but we were willing to try the experiment because the event only lasts for a few weeks. It's clear we overshot. Instead of adding excitement and variation in the Crucible, especially in competitive, we've instead made the experience random and frustrating. We don't have the ability to immediately remove tonics in competitive via our servers. We'll continue to investigate possible changes, but this experiment will have to run the duration of the Revelry before we can patch a change. We've learned a lot from the last 2 days of Revelry. The next time we make changes that affect the overall sandbox for a limited time, we will ensure a much better experience for the Crucible. All right, so a couple takeaways from this. One, I'm glad that they at least acknowledged the fact that they screwed up here, and I can kind of sort of appreciate that. What I don't appreciate is the fact that they felt it was okay to experiment in Crucible in its entirety. Listen, I'm all good with experimenting with the game, specifically Crucible, in an attempt to help it evolve. I get that. But competitive is not the place for experimenting in the Crucible. At the most, quick play is what it should have been limited to, and I would have been okay with that. Just okay. I wouldn't have loved it, but at least I would have had competitive as a playlist I could play to escape all the ability and grenade spam. Now, instead, if I want to play Crucible, I just spend 95% of my game basically playing dodgeball with grenades and barely even firing my weapon. So it's forcing me to play the game a certain way, which I don't appreciate. It's forcing me to use this buff and throw my gun skill to the wayside. It's a terrible feeling to be using a gun I grinded so hard for in my Not Forgotten, and in using it in the Crucible right now, I'm at a disadvantage. The second part of this is there's still a ton of people out there that are still trying to get their pinnacle weapons in the Crucible, and for some that is a significant mountain to climb. But now, with the addition of all this ability spam, it will make it significantly harder to climb that mountain, and some players have been practicing to get better, improve their gun skill and movement, only to have it erased by this ability spam. This update literally alienates people who don't want to play this way for an extended period of time, and it lasts for 3 weeks. The next thing, guys, is what happened to Crucible Labs. Crucible Labs was literally created to experiment with mayhem-like changes or new competitive modes, so it gives the PvP community time to test these changes, see how they react to them, and most importantly, see if they would enjoy these changes. I can't fathom why Crucible Labs has been thrown to the wayside, and instead they decided to roll out this change to the entire Crucible. And part of me wonders if they even play tested these changes. In my heart, I have to believe they didn't, because there's no way they would have put this live to the entire Crucible. And as Cosmo said, it wouldn't have taken them 2 days to realize they overshot these changes. And that brings me to my last point. Earlier this season, there was a lot of concern around the future of PvP in Destiny when John Wisniewski and Josh Hamrick left the company, since they both had huge influences on the PvP sandbox. But Deej came out, and in the stream he said that there is a Crucible team working on the future evolution of the Crucible, and that kind of calmed everybody down. But then they come out with this update. For me, this update makes something pretty clear to me. The Crucible team have no voice in the decision-making process of what changes go live in the Crucible, or worst of all, they are completely disconnected from the Crucible and what the PvP community is looking for. And that's not even from a competitive only standpoint. I think even your most casual PvP player isn't asking for more ability spam. Not one player in the Crucible was praying that Bungie would allow us to throw infinite grenades. The level of incompetency of this update from a PvP perspective is really disappointing for myself and a lot of people. And it goes beyond the fact that this update makes specifically competitive borderline unplayable. It's more the idea that something this blatantly disruptive and broken was able to make itself into the live game. It really makes me worried for the future of PvP in Destiny. I can only hope that Bungie truly learns from this mistake, as Cosmo seems to indicate in his post, and next time just put it in a playlist. It's so simple in my mind to just put it in a playlist. Like, it's fine that you wanted to try this out, but just put it in a playlist, or just limit it to quick play. It doesn't make sense why they felt the need to put this in competitive. Like, even before this update was released, the community voiced their concerns and they said, oh, you know, we'll pass that along. Okay, well, that nothing happened with that. So how can the community, the PvP community at large, just reading the details of this event, know this was going to be a problem, and they rolled it out anyway? Very, very concerning. But that's it for me, guys. I know it's more of a ranty video, but I just really had to like get it out there. I played competitive last night with Brave, and that's kind of Brave X Hero. He's another YouTuber, and that's kind of the footage you're seeing, and it just really made me feel so disappointed and disheartened. And I feel like a lot of people were already frustrated with the Crucible, and this is kind of just insult to injury. But again, I'd love to hear, you know, you guys in the comments what you think of this event from a PvP perspective. Are you guys enjoying it, hating it? Let me know. Love to hear from you guys. Thanks so much for watching. Make sure you like and subscribe if you enjoyed, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.